Hello out there at SIGT land and the rest of YouTube. This is Randy with another one of Randy Reviews. And this is a gun that you've probably seen in a lot of my videos. Well, maybe not seen, but this is a gun that's probably been in every one of my videos, unless I've actually had a holster. And with those three rings, you just heard the SIG P938. All right, we are back at the bench with the SIG P938. This P938 I've actually carried with me for 2 years straight. If you can see here, it's an Equinox. I kind of liked a little bit more fancier version, and I figured the stainless steel slide would actually hold up to body sweat and everything else. One of the things I'm actually a little bit disappointed in is there's a little bit of rubbing, I guess my holster did here. And what I'm also noticing is I'm getting a little bit of pitting from this whatever this frame is. It might be some kind of aluminum alloy or something like that. And then the only thing I can think of is actually body moisture actually pitting this up. This right here, this scratch mark, was from the holster, and I couldn't figure out. I think it's where the holster, the nut ties in. It must be rubbing there or something I'm doing when I'm holstering it. But you know, it actually stands up, and actually the firing that you just seen was, this has actually been worn on me for quite some time. It cycled every round that I threw into it, and it continually did. But basically, the P938 is a miniature 1911. This is the 938 is actually a 9mm, and the P238 is actually a 380. Basically the exact same design. The 238 is actually just a smidgen smaller in the barrel and in the grip. The one thing I like about the 238 is the slide on it. The spring is just a little bit lighter. So female shooters, maybe somebody with weak arms or arthritis, sometimes they have problems pulling that slide back, and the 238 is actually a great weapon for that, for your personal defense, because you can actually use the slide. Now the 9 is a little bit stiffer. This is a compact concealed carry weapon, so you know, you need to keep that in mind. This is not like a daily shooter where it's just like I want to have fun at the range, but you can. I just pulled off 3 shots at 30 yards with this gun, and it was just shooting 124 ball ammo out of this little barrel. Wonderful, wonderful accuracy, I think, for such a small little gun. I do have a bigger hand, and if you can notice here, my pinky is missing, you know, that bottom. But if you get the mag, which SIG is very proud of their extension mags and stuff like that, or if you buy a gun with the extension mag, that's even the better way. But if you get the extension mag, you get the little pinky, the added extra, and with that, my hand fits perfectly on there. My pinky rests very comfortably. I carry that mag in the gun. It conceals well. And then I also carry, and I'm going to pull out 2 things out of my pocket here. I also carry a backup mag, and this is a 6-rounder. It doesn't have the pinky extension on it, and that's why I use it as my backup mag, is so I have something out there. And the cool thing is this is the pocket knife I carry. This is this little Sheffield, you know, razor knife. I can change the blades out. I work construction, so it's easy to, you know, flip the blades out and change it. But the cool thing about it is look, that is exactly about the size of a pocket knife. So you can carry an extra mag in your pocket. I've heard of some people carry these loosely in the pocket. They'll strip a bullet out of them. You can get a little pocket sleeve or something to keep the bullets, you know, and keep the dust and lint out. I just throw it in my pocket, and I have yet to have I've had one time, I think, a bullet slip out on me. They actually hold in pretty nice. And what I'm actually using for my self-defense is these Liberty civil defense rounds. You know, I'm not going to do a review on that today, but it's just, you know, what I found is something that's interesting to carry. They perform really well in this 938, so you know, why not use it? So now I want to talk about the breakdown of this weapon. The SIG P938 is basically a 1911. With a 1911, the rock back. Let's see if you can see that. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna rock back where that notch right there meets up with that hammer, the slide lock, and I push back a little bit on that. This pin will come out, and that just slides forward, and you're basically broke down. Take out the spring right there for the barrel, pull that bad boy out, and then you can pull your barrel out. There is no retainer ring around there like a 1911. It's basically more or less like your regular semi-automatic pistols. Put it back together. You just slide the barrel back in there. The spring goes down into here, and the little curvature actually rests upon the barrel. I'm going to put that on the bench here so I can get that compressed down in there, and basically it needs to look like that. And then when you're putting this back together, you put that back on the slide. I will, oh, forgot, there's this little hook on the frame over here, and that's actually your shell ejector. That actually has to be pushed down before you can slide this all the way back. Now I have to use a tool, my fingers are too fat, and we just push that guy down there so it slides back. Make sure you push that down before you slide it back all the way. And then I look through the hole here on the side. There's a little hole. That's where your pin goes back in. And when the barrel lines up, I'll put my pin back in. That little hole that's inside there. There we go. Make sure you don't dummy scratch it like a regular 1911, and then you're back together. And that's basically the disassembly of the 938. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the construction of the gun. This is a Sig Sauer product, so you can expect to have some good, well manufactured machining. And with the trigger, the slide, and all that stuff, I have to say this was very well put together. I'm a little bit disappointed in the materials they used for this bottom frame. You know, this nicking and stuff on here. I would hope that would hold up a little bit better, and even some of this almost like corrosion right here. I wish they would use something that wasn't as corrosive maybe to my sweat, because I am carrying this every day. Maybe a little bit more maintenance on my half would have prevented that. But so far, for 2 years of carrying it, I have to say it's holding up very well. The other thing is on their fiber optic sight here, this has a tendency to slide out. I don't know if you can see the ever so slight gap, and I've actually had that slide out quite a bit. I haven't glued it back in there, done anything to it yet. I've just left it alone. It hasn't fallen out all the way, and it only just moves ever so slightly, and I just have to put it back in there. But the other thing that is nice is it actually comes stock with these tritium night sights. And I've had this thing in the safe. One time I went on vacation, took a larger weapon with me, and left it in the safe for a week, came back, opened the safe, middle of the night, those tritium night sights were glowing beautifully. Tritium, it rocks for night sights. You can't do wrong with the tritium night sights. But you know, Sig Sauer creates a quality product. So on the construction, I have to say, man, I'd have to say I'd rate it a 5 out of 5. I don't think you can get any better quality manufacturing on this gun. All right, so for the ergonomics of the gun, as you can see, my hand is pretty much as big as that 938. I do have a larger frame hand, and without the pinky rest, you know, it's a little bit uncontrollable, but not unruly uncontrollable. I can still get really good shots downrange. The safety is in a good spot too. So the slide release, if I can get the slide release up. All right, so slide release is in also a semi-good spot with minimal, you know, variation of your hand. Mag release is in a good spot too. So ergonomics of the gun, I have to say, for it being such a small weapon, they're actually pretty good. I'd have to say a 4 out of 5. Maybe with a couple grip changes, you know, something to your liking, you can get a 5 out of 5 out of this. Actually, I really like these wooden grips. They give it a thicker feel. I have other people that have the 938 Nightmare, and the grips are smaller and more slender, and after holding my Equinox, they're like, man, I love those grips. they're off looking for a set. Of course, Sig Sauer is very proud of their product, so the price is, a little bit higher than what should be expected. The controls and the safety. Safety is ambidextrous, so both sides. You do have a hammer on this gun, so if for some reason your round doesn't go off, you don't want to rack another one out, you have a bad primer or something, you can try it again. That's kind of a nice little feature. You cannot rack the slide is if the hammer is down and it's in safe mode, so it will not rack back. Pretty much kind of 1911 stylish there too. But other than that, the controls are actually in a very good location. The mag release there, the safety there, the slide release there, and the slide release does catch really well, and it does have a very prominent slide release and safety, so very good controls. The reliability. The reliability of the 938, I have put a lot of rounds through this gun and I have yet to see it malfunction. That's not to say that I haven't seen a 938 malfunction. I had a friend of mine had a 938. He couldn't stand it because it wouldn't shoot anything. I don't know if it was something to do with the magazine. It just wasn't feeding right. I didn't really have a chance to break it down and kind of go over it and figure out what was going on. But out of the most of the 938s, the bulk of the 938s that I have actually seen or fired or whatever, the reliability is astounding. I put all kinds of rounds through it. Like I said earlier, I've got these Liberty Civil Defense hollow points. You can see a big fat wide hollow point, and it feeds these just beautifully. I've also put the Hornady Critical Defense in there, and didn't really have any issues with that. The one thing I noticed on the Hornady Critical Defense, because it has that rubber nodule, is a lot of times if you're cycling the same round in and out of it, it has a tendency to push back with the 938s. Had a friend of mine had some short rounds end up happening after just a small amount of cycling. But basically, the reliability is pretty good. Mag's really good. I wore this 2 years straight and get a little bit of dust. I try to clean it out every week or so, and so far I do a test fire where I just take some of the rounds I have in there, go, okay, did I live in this scenario? Pull the gun out, and whatever condition it is in, maybe after 2, sometimes 3 weeks of not cleaning it, and just start firing it, and it goes bang every time. Has gone bang every time I've done that in the 2 years that I've done it. The tests I've done, maybe 4 or 5 times I've done that in the 2 years, and it's gone bang every time. So I feel very comfortable with the reliability of this gun. Okay, the weight and the balance. Weight and the balance, very small compact gun, so you don't have a lot out there. It feels good and balanced in your hand. It's not a ridiculously heavy weapon. It's not also a ridiculously light weapon. Some of the pocket carries I've seen, or the small concealed carries I've seen, are ridiculously light. They don't have that mass when you're shooting that 9mm bullet to absorb a little bit of that recoil in it, and it translates into a huge amount of muzzle flip and a huge amount of controllability issues. This has got a very good weight and balance. On the weight and balance, I'd have to say it's at least a 5 for what this is. It's got a good enough weight to control that muzzle flip and take that 9mm round, and then it's got a good enough balance on it where it doesn't just feel unruly in your hand. Like I said, my big hand, a little bit smaller, but extension mag fits perfectly. So overall, on the 938, I'd have to rate this gun a 4.5. Maybe with a better material down here, I wouldn't have that pitting issue or anything else like that. I haven't even contacted SIG about that. Maybe they'd actually have some kind of fix for that, or maybe I'm even maintaining it wrong, or my sweat is just that acidic. Like I said, I do a lot of construction stuff, so I do get pretty gnarly, and this does live with me. This is another tool. Sits by my side, keeps me company, protects me every day. Hope I never have to use it, but if I do, it's there, and it's going to be in a functioning state because it's Sig Sauer. So overall, I have to say 5 out of 5. This is what my friend likes to call the Cadillac of carries. This is something that, you're not going to get any better. If there's something better, maybe it just fits your hand better. But as far as functionality, reliability, weight, balance, everything. Tritium night sights come on it. Some of them have the fiber optic that come on it. Small magazine, easily concealed. Beautiful gun. Cadillac Carry, 5 out of 5. All right, so here we are at our favorite gas station. Yes, this is the shooting range, but to actually shoot this video in a real gas station, I would probably be in jail. So what I've got is my silhouette down here. He is actually robbing the gas station. You can tell by his evil demeanor with his 7 8s and 9s tattooed on his chest. He's got 789, 987. Obviously, must be some kind of gangbanger or something like that, just looking to stick the place up. I've got my eye on him, and we're going to play a little scenario. So I'm standing, just kind of at ease, got my Coke in my hand or whatever, getting ready to go up to the counter and pay. Happen to see Mr. 789 gang here wanting to rob the place. I kind of play it cool. I'm just going to hold back until I really think that something bad's going to happen. He's got his gun drawn. He is actually on the cashier right now, looking very agitated. I decide at this point I'm going to want to take him out. So here I am, just kind of minding my own business, and I'm going to take him out. All right, Mr. Bad Silhouette's done. I put all the rounds into him. Wasn't even looking too much down the sights. Tried to go for a couple headshots there. Everything landed off perfectly. I should have been a little bit higher on my shots, but I've got the X, the 9s. It's all center mass. Got his neck and got the right side of his face pretty good here. But that's basically the 938 in action. That's draw from holster, unsafety, actually engaging the target. I'm not a tacticianer by any means. I'm just kind of showing you what the 938 can do for you. 938, Sig Sauer.